Well, all right, everyone, and that day wasn't half bad. As a matter of fact, if you watched my morning video or even last week's video, today was a pretty darn good day as we saw the movement that we did with some of the best penny stocks to buy now. So bigbear.ai, NVTS, ONDs, and then there was one that was kind of lagging behind. Now, last week I talked about two rare earth plays to absolutely keep on your radar. And both of those up also over 20% today. That was MP Materials and American Resource Corp, AREC stock. Guys, we're going to take a look at all the charts, see how we're positioned, and also the big news for bigbear.ai stock as well, that we got news of a partnership. I said that would likely be that next momentum push, and that's what we got. So I do want to just take a quick moment to look at the background market bias. So IWM, Russell 2000 small caps, having an outperforming today, 2.78% versus Qs and the SPY, which track the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 respectively. They were up still very well, 1.5%, 2%. This was up closer to 3%, breaking up above the 5 and the 13 EMA. That's exactly what we look for. When we look at the Qs, we'll stretch that out a little bit so we can see a little bit more. We closed pretty much at where the 5 EMA is, 601.88 versus a close of 602.01. So we closed 13 cents above the 5. I said we want to see us get back up on top of that. You can see the Qs does a lot of resistance to break back through. And honestly, we might just be able to do what the signs are pointing to. Yes, the general direction is likely still up. But it's something that we did see with what happened on Friday is just how sensitive we are, just from a little bit of saber rattling, if you will, to being able to sustain the climb that we're on, and to have such a rapid just boom drop down and then jump back up. That lets us know that right now the market does know that things are a little bit toppy and that there's any number of things that can upset that balance. So while the general direction is still up right now, we still need to be cautious, especially because the government shutdown is still going on, and that will affect our GDP numbers. But even more so than that, it's holding off some of those other economic reports that we're waiting on, especially non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate. It's like, well, are we giving time for hedge funds and institutions to position themselves here, or what's going on? Like with this government shutdown, is there some sort of collusion happening where we're trying to manipulate the stock market? There's your tinfoil hat question of the day, just to get the comment section going on that one. So we'll pop this back up here, and SPY probably has the most concerning of the three looks because it got rejected at the 5 and the 13, and the 5 is down below the 13. That is a near-term bearish sign, but only very near-term. The RSI is still bullish on the daily chart. We're above the 50 and the 200. So overall, it's still a bullish sentiment. General direction, like I said, for the Qs, for IWM, still up for right now. Bitcoin trying to make a show of things when we look at its hourly chart. It caught support down here just north of the 109.356, which is good, and it also kept it broke critical resistance, retested, found as support, and that goes to 7 a.m. as of Eastern time today to 8 a.m. somewhere in that hour. Retest as support. Now we're trying to make that climb, hopefully being able to break it up over this, and we actually have some really nice movement on that hourly chart. If we drop down to a daily chart, there we go, or move up, however we want to consider it, we are breaking up above the 50 EMA, which is good to recover, and we want to see today close up above that 5. It's nice to see this sort of movement. This is a very bullish movement that we got on Sunday with a continuation today, especially after that retest that we saw. We'll see if we can put out that number. 118,855 is a critical number to remember. If we can break the 5 and the 13 moving averages going forward from here, breaking 118,855 can open us back up to that 120 into this area of resistance where we continually keep on getting selling pressure in that. All right, so to bigbear.ai. So this one, partnership announced. The news hit about 5 hours ago. It says 17% higher. And so for this one, it looks like it's a T-Seconds brick platform that there's a partnership with them, a collaboration, really spurring on some of this movement that we see. And the volume was pretty darn good, not rivaling the sell-off volume that we had on Friday, which likely had some profit taken to them, but still some historically very good volume to look at, even if we zoom out here. Yeah, we had some higher stuff during that last climb and even the previous climb before that, but this is still very good to see. Now, even more importantly, beyond that, let me put up the technicals on here for you, especially these rectangles, because if you've been watching my channel, you know I've been talking about the selling pressure that we get every time we get up here. Guys, we closed above that. We closed up above all these previous peaks except for this one right here. Out of any of the nearer term stuff, we actually have to go back to a long time ago in the history of this stock. We actually have to go all the way back to 2022 to see higher prices than what we have. This could be, being that we're up on top of that resistance, this could be that time that we start to see that $10 to $15 price tag come out. If the market sentiment can hold on to it, if it can keep on pushing the risk assets up from here, and maybe we see that 2-digit climb happen about $10, and then things start to get really dicey once you start to get up above 1150, when you start hitting those warrant share prices, if you will. And putting this back up here for you, where was that previous peak? Let's find out where that was. The previous peak before this thing turned around was $10.36. Now let's put up some of the other values on here, and it's going to get a little bit messy, but we can deal with it. There we go. Perfect. There's a pivot that happens all the way up here at 956, so watch out for that. You can see a clustering up here just north of 983, which happens to be just at that low to mid $10 range, so 1018 to 1036. So we don't quite get to 1050 that mid, but 1036 is close enough to mid, and not bad. And up above that, there's that other resistance I was talking about, up around that 1150 number. That is a very critical number to look for. So we might be getting more into a little bit of near-term price discovery, prices that we haven't seen in a while. We could definitely squeeze out some more percentage from where we're at from now, easily at least 10% before we really start to get into some trouble. We're going to have to watch and see what we get. That volume move, very, very good for us to break up above all that resistance that we had before. Navatas Semiconductors up 21% today. Check this out. Actually, let me go back to Big Bear just for a moment, and I'll look at its hourly chart. There we go. Because I talked about these trend lines. Put those up for you. I'll take the rest of it down. There we go. Perfect. Take a look at this. This is, once again, BigBear.ai. You can see the ticker in the background. There we are. Perfect. Look at the retest that we got just in that hour before market open. As a matter of fact, we'll drop it down to 30 minutes so we can see exactly when the market opened. And you can see we actually opened all the way down here, and we just broke up above that trend line that we had for the two symmetric triangle patterns, which are consolidation patterns. And that's where that rocket ship really came in. Retraced a little bit, kind of chopped sideways for a little bit, and as soon as we broke up above these previous little highs that are in here, that's where that next rocket ship came in, really putting in those prices. And if we put the rectangles back on just for a moment, where we got here, we're not quite tickling the top of the rectangle yet. We'll watch and see if we get it. We are, however, sitting on top of this value that refers back to the previous high that we had going back to Friday. So pretty darn good for that one. Over to Navatas Semiconductor. There we are. Now for this one, I talked about 981 being important. We got rejected just 2 cents shy of it on Friday. And then today we were able to blast above it. And I said 1024 was also likely very heavy resistance, while we popped above it up to $10.41. You can see that we got rejected off of it in the very next hour of trading. As a matter of fact, $10.24 to the penny is that high price on this candle right here that you see right at the top of that wick, exactly 1024, and then sold off a little bit. So Big Bear up 20% today. Navatas Semiconductors up 21%. ONDs, there we go, Ondas Holdings Incorporated. There we go. I talked about breaking above this trend line in my morning's video, so I hope you watched it. Let's break this down even further, down to a 5-minute chart to see what it looks like near that value. I'll take down VWAP, so that's not in our way. Let's take down the moving averages, and we'll really clean this thing up for you. So we would take down the extensions, retracements, pivots, you name it. Maybe if I can click the right buttons. There we go. Take it down. Perfect. There we go. Take a look at this in the market hours. And I have not moved this trend line, by the way. Look at that touch that we got, and we got that rejection. And then look what happened as soon as we broke up above it during the next candle. That's where we got that rocket ship look to this thing. And man, this thing just took off all the way up to just north of $11 per share. So nice, healthy move from ONDs. RZLV did not totally get the memo. 6% is a great day, but it didn't break its trend line yet. This is exactly what we're looking for RZLV. This one, if it can break its trend line, this one I think is yet to pop. I took it in a very aggressive, very near-term call option, front-running the market. And I got to tell you, like I said in this morning's video, when you front-run the market, don't be surprised when you get run over. So with this call option, I kept the capital extremely low on it because we don't know what the market's going to do to us yet. So we got to watch market bias and what the particular security is going to do. And for RZLV, breaking on top of this trend line and showing that we actually have a full breakout, especially with volume support, is what we're looking for. I think there's a good likelihood that this one still has this day coming. I'm hoping that tomorrow's that day. Watch this trend line for a break up above it. So the last two stocks, MP Materials, this one up 21.21% today. There we go. We'll reset the view so you can see it. look at that movement that we have to the north. I said, watch these plays. I said on Friday in my video, I said these could be very good for us. And man, they exploded today. MP Materials being the big company with a rather large market cap. Market cap for this one, 16.83 billion versus the penny stock that we have that I said to also watch for with just absolutely massive volume. Nothing like we saw back in April of 25, but look at the movement that we've seen since then. This is the highest volume for certain since that time. So since about 6 months ago, just absolutely incredible volume today, pushing up 24, almost 25 million shares traded, up 22%. This thing tickling $5 per share. As a matter of fact, it made up to $5.19 before closing back down at $4.98. So for those penny stocks today, absolutely incredible day. I hope that you watched this morning's video. Big Bear AI could still have more upside. Same thing for ONDs. RZLV could keep moving on us. Certainly NVTS as well. Those are all stocks that I absolutely keep on my radar. The volatility of them has been absolutely wonderful, and I'm glad that those technicals worked out. And if they worked out for you guys and you were able to trade on them, let me know down in the comments of this video. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. Otherwise, guys, you can find me and other panel experts over at the Discord. We got an entire ecosystem there full of thousands of traders that already are loving the support in their journeys. We can help support you in your journey towards financial freedom and building alpha in your portfolio by using that link down in the description. The 3-day trial may still be available. If it is, take advantage of it. You can try it out risk-free for 3 days, cancel anytime after that. And if that 3-day free trial has expired, well, you can try it out for less than $2 a day, and you can see what you think of it. And I think that you're going to find what so many other people have found, that they absolutely love all the support, all the information, all the resources, all the tools, AI tools, advanced charting tools that are over there waiting for them. And guys, last thing, down in the description is the link for Stockmo Academy as well. If you click on that and sign up, you can learn to do the technicals like you see on here, so you can find out when those breakout moments are going to happen. You can tell also how to trade them using the bread recipe trading strategy, which I personally use and I allude to in these videos. And then there's also options if you like options, or if you want to know about options, you want to know more, there's some coursework for options as well through Stockmo Academy. Those 2 courses, code word Doctor, DOCTOR, gets you a $400 discount. Bundling those courses together gets you a bundle discount as well. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you next video.